continues to devastate our environment. But this is more than just an environmental crisis. It is the result of a much larger problem. A system built on greed, corruption, and bad governance that has failed to protect the interests of the people, especially the youth. This is why I call upon you, the young people of Ghana, to rise up. You have a greater stake in this fight because the future belongs to you. It is your rivers that are being poisoned, your lands that are being destroyed, your livelihoods that are being stripped away. You will inherit the consequences of today's failure if you do not act now. The decision made today, the corruption we tolerate, the mismanagement we ignore, they will shape the world you grow old in. And so I say, the time for complacency is over. The time to act is now. The state of our nation, a cycle of corruption, greed, and mismanagement. Our country is drowning in a sea of mismanagement, corruption, and greed. Over the years, we have seen the reckless plundering of our natural resources, the loss of investments, and the misappropriation of funds meant to secure the future of our elders. Pensioners whose hard-earned money has been squandered in failed schemes and reckless government borrowing. This is not just economic mismanagement. This is the theft from the very future of this country. When investments fail, when pensioners cannot count on their savings, and when the youth cannot find jobs, the very foundation of our society crumbles. At the heart of this chaos is the rot of corruption, government contracts awarded without transparency, state resources siphoned off for personal gain, and a culture of impunity that allows the powerful to loot while the rest of us suffer. Corruption is not just about lost money, it's about lost futures. It's about the hospitals that aren't built, the schools that remain underfunded, and the roads that are never repaired because someone decided to line their pockets instead of serving the people. This corruption, this greed is directly linked to the environmental disaster that Galamsey has unleashed on our nation. Those in positions of power have turned a blind eye, allowed illegal miners to wreak havoc on our rivers and lands because they, too, benefit from the spoils. But make no mistake, this is not just an environmental issue. It is a symptom of a broken system that prioritizes profit over people, greed, and governance. Economic mismanagement and its connection to environmental degradation. Look around at the state of our economy. Unemployment at its unprecedented levels. Pensioners are protesting because their future is uncertain, and young people cannot find decent jobs. All of this stems from a system that has prioritized greed and corruption over growth and opportunity. Economic mismanagement and corruption are deeply interconnected with the environmental disaster we face today. When leaders fail to manage the economy properly, when they steal from the state coffers, it leads to unemployment, rising prices, and the depletion of national resources. This in turn pushes the desperate and the greedy to destroy the very land we depend on for survival. The circle of destruction is complete, and it is the people, especially the young, who suffer the most. Our rivers, once sources of life, are now polluted and dying. Our farmlands, once fertile, are now barren wastelands. and our youth, who should be building a future full of promise, are left with no options, no hope, and no path forward. We cannot stand by and allow this to continue. The call for constitutional reforms and the new social contract. And here is where you, the young people of Ghana, come in. You are the ones who must rise and demand change, because the future belongs to you more than anyone else. You must demand not just an end to Galamsey, but a fundamental shift in the way we are governed. You must demand constitutional reforms that put power back in the hands of the people. Our current system allows too much concentration of power, too much room for corruption to flourish. It is a system that protects the interests of a few while the majority suffer. We, the youth of this nation, cannot afford to sit on the sidelines any longer. You must become the architects of a new Ghana, a country where governance is about service, not self-enrichment, where public office is about protecting the resources of this nation, not exploiting them. You must rise up and be the generation that says, enough is enough. Economic mismanagement, government corruption, and the environmental crisis are not separate issues. They are all symptoms of a governance system that has failed. The only way to end Galamsey, to ensure economic stability, and to root out corruption is to demand systemic reforms. We need a new social contract, one that prioritizes transparency, accountability, and the well-being of all citizens, not just the wealthy and powerful. Demands holding leadership accountable. We are not just calling for an end to illegal mining. We are calling for the resignation of those who have allowed this crisis to fester. We demand the immediate resignation of the following officials: the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the heads of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, the Minerals Commission and the Forestry Commission. These are the individuals who have failed to protect our environment. We have turned a blind eye to the devastation caused by Galamsey, and we have allowed corruption and greed to destroy our natural resources. They have failed in their duties and they must go. We also demand a full independent audit of all mining licenses granted in the past 5 years. With the results made public, the time for secrecy is over. The people have a right to know how their resources are being managed and who is present have to be our future. We can break the cycle. We can demand a new social contract, one that holds leaders accountable, that prioritizes sustainability over short-term gains, and that places the well-being of every citizen at the forefront of governance. We can demand a new constitution that ensures transparency, limits the powers of those in office, and creates systems of accountability that prevent the greed and corruption that have brought us to this point. I say to you, rise up, young people of Ghana, rise up and take your place at the forefront of this movement for change. Rise up and demand a government that works for you, not against you. Rise up and be the voice that says Galamsey must stop, corruption must end, and the future must be ours to shape. This is not just a protest, it is a movement, a safeguard, to safeguard the health, well-being and prosperity of all Ghanaians, we urge all concerned citizens to join in, and we call on the government to honor its duty to protect our land and our people. Together we can build a Ghana that we are proud to pass on to the next generation. A Ghana where the environment is protected, the economy is strong, and every citizen has a fair chance at success.